Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's stream we'll be talking about the Trump tariffs. They're now no longer well, they're most of them are paused except for China. China is still going to be getting hit hard by the tariffs. And then we'll be talking about cryptocurrencies and the markets here. Let me go ahead and flip the camera for my TikTok streamers here, so you guys can see what we're looking at here. Currently, Bitcoin is at $83,000, $83,438, up 9% today. Wow. And still climbing. As I'm looking at the 1 hour chart here for Bitcoin price, you can see we got above the 200 MA on the 1 hour, so that's good. That's good to see. Let me just double check, make sure the volume is good. Yep, we're good. Okay. All right, and if we look at the crypto bubbles here, you can see that everything is in the green for cryptocurrency world here. Okay, all those green bubbles there. Some coins like Hype up 26% today. All right, look at Fart Coin up 38% for the week. You know, a lot of these cryptocurrencies are, you know, some of them are in the red, some of them in the green. But we have Fart Coin here up 74% for the week. So kudos to those that bought that coin. But yeah, let's get back into the charts here. The big news for today is that Trump did a pause, a 90-day pause on tariffs for all countries that didn't retaliate against America and the tariffs that they put on. The other countries that did retaliate, some of them are getting 10% tariffs, and countries like China are getting reciprocal tariffs for retaliating. Trump, I think, bumped it up to like 125% for China. So China's in a bit of a sticky, bad situation, at least with the Trump administration right now. But that's what you get for fighting back and not cooperating with America. And the markets are loving it right now. You know, Bitcoin at $83,400. And where could Bitcoin go? All right, that's why we're here. We're gonna look at the charts. We're gonna see where Bitcoin needs to go next. Okay, if we're gonna continue on this bull run here, I'm looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin. We might get some resistance where we're currently at right now, at $83,500, because you got the 21 white EMA might act as a source of resistance in the near term here. But then after that, the 200-day moving average, we need to get above the 200-day moving average, currently sitting at $86,900. So I like to see Bitcoin get up to like $87,000 before I can say, yeah, you know, bull run back on. Okay. But this was the beginning of what we needed for that bounce back. This is pretty significant news. You might not ever be able to buy Bitcoin here at $74,000, $75,000 again, which, you know, only occurred for a short amount of time. There was only a couple of days here where you could have got Bitcoin for less than $76,000. Okay, we have, with these candle wicks here, we have a double bottom being formed on the daily chart here. The bottoms are at $74,500. Okay, $74,420 here on Coinbase Exchange. And the way a double bottom normally plays out is you just measure, right? I gotta go into the 1 hour chart back again, but you got the double bottoms here, right? And you just measure from the bottom at 74,500 to the top in between the two bottoms, which is currently at about around $80,000. You take that measured move, you put it towards top, on top of the top, in between the two bottoms. All right, you got the bottom here, and it's saying that Bitcoin could come up to $86,879. That blue number right there. Okay. So we still got some room to run here to go to higher prices here. At least that's what the chart pattern is saying. And then also the daily chart is saying that, you know, $86,000 should be the next resistance level for this bull run here on Bitcoin. All right. Let me go ahead and turn on the VRVP, see if the VRVP is agreeing with any of this analysis here. And the VRVP is saying that the point of control is this blue line. High volume node is sitting at $84,000. So we're getting magnetically attracted right back to it. I expect $84,000 probably later on tonight, going into tomorrow. And going forward here, $86,000. That also happens to be another high volume node level here. So $86,000, I would, you know, probably start, if I'm short term trading this, I would start selling at around $87,000. If you had enough of cryptocurrency world, you could probably start selling your Bitcoin at $87,000, but you might, you know, miss out on the rest of this bull run here, okay? Because I think that was literally the worst of the worst. You know, those Trump tariffs dragged the market down. And if you had fresh money from some cash, some dry powder, you could have been buying at these levels here. And I think you're going to get a recovery back up to higher prices here. Now, where could Bitcoin go later on in 2025? You got another point of control here at $96,000. So I'm expecting $96,000 Bitcoin to come into fruition later on in 2025 here. Then you also got the all-time high at $109,000, but you have a value area high currently sitting at that white line at $106,000 Bitcoin. So that could still be in play as well. So, you know, $83,000 Bitcoin sounds like a deal if we're going to be going back up to $106,000 here. Okay. Let me see if I think I'm ready to take some requests from any of my viewers who have requests for any particular stock or crypto here. Other than that, we'll just take a look at the rest of the market, which has been on fire. Okay. We have over here, just looking at Solana, up, what, 13.7%, Ethereum up 14%, XRP up 50%, Sui up 17%, Aptos up 9%, AVAX up 15%. Most of these are double-digit gainers here. AI16Z up 26%, Render up 21%. A nice solid day here for most of the markets here. Let's see, we got a comment here. Tariff news was the only thing keeping crypto down. To the moon we go. Yeah, it seems that tariff news is the thing that was keeping crypto down. And the thing about China being tariffed, right, is that you know, China's probably going to have to manipulate their currency and devalue their yuan to keep the prices low enough for American consumers to buy, so they can continue buying from China. That is going to cause the Chinese investors to, like, people in China are going to try to get out of the yuan, and they're probably going to end up buying Bitcoin. Okay, so we got some more people that are going to be buying Bitcoin in China now because they're going to have to devalue their currency, which they've done a little bit of it so far. But we'll see how worse it gets for them. Okay. But yeah, Baron Pump, you're right. We're back. We are back. No, Trump did not suspend tariffs on China. He only suspended the tariffs on the countries that didn't retaliate against us. And he still has 10% tariffs on those that did retaliate, except for China. China is gonna get the full 100% tariffs because they've been escalating, and I guess Trump doesn't really like China. So there you go. Roadrunner saying that this is the most pro-crypto government in history. Only a fool wouldn't invest now. Yeah, I bought a little bit of Bitcoin. I bought some Bitcoin yesterday, but I bought some Solana today after I heard about the tariff news. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Solana since I mentioned it. Solana currently at 120 bucks. That's actually where I got stopped out at. I had a stop loss at 120 bucks, but I was able to buy some Solana at like $118, $117 earlier today. So I actually bought in lower, even after we got this little tariff pause pump going on here. Yeah. Let's take a look at the Solana, and then we'll take a look at XRP and Ethereum after that. But yeah, Solana currently at $120.04, up 13.9% for today. And the next area of resistance that I see for Solana, you'll have probably some resistance from this 21 EMA at 125 bucks. Okay. but Solana has a long way to go. Once it gets above that white line, it could start pumping this up to like $140. Would probably be like the next resistance level for Solana. And then $180 is going to be a boss level resistance, because that's where the 200-day moving average is currently sitting at. If I turn on the VRVP, right, I like looking at the VRVP. The VRVP is saying that the point of control for Solana is at 125 bucks. So I see Solana going to 125 bucks in the near term, where you got this high volume node sitting at. And then after that, you got a big gap in the VRVP, and then you can come up to like 143 bucks. That'll be the next resistance level for Solana as it continues pumping up to higher prices here. Then you got a big gap in the VRVP, and then there's a little bit of a volume here at 170 bucks. But like I said, I think 180 bucks is going to be the next boss level resistance for Solana to get past it. And once you get past 180 bucks, then you can say for sure that Solana is in a bull run. Okay. Can't really be bearish. Can't really be bearish on Solana unless this gets invalidated and we go back to $100 psychological level and go back to lower prices here. But I don't think you'll ever see Solana again at like 95 bucks here, unless we get some really bad bearish news out there. Okay, but this was a good bit of news. This is what the markets needed to get ourselves back on our feet again. And you can see like here on the RSI, like, you know, we're here at low 30s and 40s for Solana. This thing has room to run to before it even gets considered to be overbought on the daily time frame here. And you can see here on the stochastic RSI, let me just move these things up here. Yeah, the stochastic RSI is curving back up, so we're almost like near oversold on Solana for the stochastic RSI. So this thing has room to run, guys. Okay, that's why I got into it. That's why I got into Solana below 120 bucks, and yeah, I think there should be some better days ahead for us. Let's take a look at XRP now, and then we'll take a look at Ethereum. Okay, XRP at $2.07 here. XRP was starting to give us a little bit of a scare that it was going to drop down to about 140, 150. I'm sorry, $1.40, $1.50 level was going to be my price target if XRP continued to be bearish. It looks like XRP is getting a nice bounce off the 200-day moving average, sitting at $1.85. And then we'll see if XRP can continue on to the point of control here, which is sitting at $2.40. I think that'll be the next resistance level for XRP Ripple. You might get a little bit of resistance, kind of like where you're at, like near $2.17, but I see the significant resistance going to be at $2.40. And then also you got the 50 moving average, this green line, could be resistance at $2.50 for XRP. And then after that, you know, if you're going to continue being bullish on XRP, then yeah, we can see $3 XRP. And we have the value area high currently sitting at $3.13. So that's your ultimate take profit target. If you're short-term trading XRP, you could see $3.13 sooner, hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's my bullish targets there for XRP. Let's go into Ethereum, see how Ethereum is doing. Ethereum is at $1,676, and the way Ethereum was continuing on this bearish trend, we were worried that we would see Ethereum at like $1,200, which it hasn't been at since we haven't seen Ethereum at $1,200 since like 2022. Okay, so it was looking really, really bad and bleak for Ethereum. You got the point of control for Ethereum is currently at about $1,500, so we're slightly above that. So we're slightly bullish on Ethereum now that we're above the point of control. The next resistance I can see for Ethereum as it climbs back up is to 1874 is the next near-term bullish target on Ethereum. And then after that, you got a big gap, and then you can come up to this value area high, this white line at $2,200 Ethereum. So Ethereum has some room to go as far as climbing up to higher prices. I think between Ethereum and Solana, you guys got yourself some big juicy gainers as this market starts to recover here. Right now, Ethereum is at an RSI of like 39, so that's a low RSI. You have to get to like 70 before you're considered overbought. Looking at the stochastic RSI is also kind of low here at 27. So stochastics are looking good to be buying the dip here. And then also, let's see. I don't see any green dots here on the Cypher B money flow here. But when a green dot prints, you'll know for damn sure that it's time to buy. And I think that green dot could print either later on today or tomorrow, to be honest. Especially if we get another good day in the markets tomorrow. Just good news overall for everybody that Trump isn't as crazy as some might have thought he was. And actually he might be viewed as a genius, because how many people bought cars and dishwashers and other things that they were planning on buying later on this year, but they bought it like this week or last month because they were afraid of Trump tariffs? Like how many businesses made money selling cars and selling, you know, dishwashers and ovens and stuff like that because of these Trump tariffs, right? All that demand got pulled forward, so we might get some good numbers from some of these companies who haven't really been hit at all by these tariffs, because I mean, what, they came on for 1 week and then they came off before they were actually gonna do any damage here. All right, Roadrunner said he got into XRP at 70 cents and Bitcoin at $67,000. Okay, those are some decent prices, especially that XRP at 70 cents. I don't think we'll see XRP at 70 cents at all again in the near future. XRP is one of the strongest cryptocurrencies out there. One of the stronger high market cryptocurrencies. Let's see, Bitcoin, back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's back at $83,000. Like I said, I think we could see $86,000 coming up soon here on Bitcoin. And let's take a look at some of these other cryptocurrencies. Now, I'm a little bit worried about Aptos here. Aptos seems like everybody's having double-digit percentage gains here, but Aptos might be the hidden gem for you guys. Right now, Aptos is only up 9%, not a double-digit gainer like some of these other cryptos here. And look at this, Aptos near the lows of this this mini bear market that we had, okay, in altcoins. And the stochastic RSIs are low for Aptos right now, and RSI is starting to curve back up, but still kind of low at 40. And I'm waiting for like a green dot to be printed over here on Market Cypher B. Once you see a green dot print up on the money flow, you know for damn sure that there's a bull run about to be started here on Aptos. So Aptos could be a forgotten gem here. You could be buying it right now at $4.70, and you can probably put your stop loss right here at like $4, and it might not ever hit. Okay, but you're risking about you're still risking about 20% on your stop loss here. But if Aptos gets ready to start heading up to higher prices, you got already the point of control saying this thing should go up to like $6. Okay. And then you got some more high volume here at $8 and $9, so this thing could possibly double in price. And then you have the 200-day moving average at $8.66, and that would just be the beginning of the bull run for Aptos. Okay, once it gets above that 200-day moving average. So you got some beaten down cryptos here that have a lot of room to go here. I think Aptos is kind of getting forgotten right now. Everybody else is getting double-digit gainers, right? Render up 22%. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a render. Render has been beaten down as well. Let's clean this thing up here a little bit. And with render, you know, we saw some bullish divergence creeping up on render, saying that buyers were stepping in at these levels. And render also has the possibility of a double bottom being formed here. Okay. Let me go ahead and just try to draw this out real quick here. You have one bottom here, and then you have another bottom, right here on render. Okay. And if this double bottom plays out, to measure, you measure from the bottoms here at like $2.50 to the top here at $4.30, and you put that measured move here on top of the top in between the two bottoms. Okay. And this is saying that the measured move should bring you up to like $6. You can see a $6 render coming up, and that makes sense because that puts you right where the moving averages are sitting at. So you got some confluence with the moving averages and the chart pattern. The double bottom is saying that the render should come back up to $6. Where you got the 200 moving average and the 100 moving average is currently sitting at those prices there. Johnny Karate says, don't buy stocks, invest in businesses. I mean, you got to do whatever you feel comfortable doing. If you're not a stock market guy, then, you know, continue investing in your business. But if your business does pretty well and there's no more room to grow your business, it might make sense to actually buy some stocks. Okay? I wouldn't just totally write off stocks altogether. All right, let's see if I get any more comments here. Yeah, we'll keep it on going here. Render, looking pretty good. Looking like it wants to go back up to $6 on the daily time frame here. Let's take a look at Cardano. For my cryptocurrency folks here that own some Cardano, congratulations. Cardano is up 14% today. Currently trading at 64 cents. And let's see, we'll get into it a little bit further here with Cardano. Looks like I got some previous chart work here. What is going on here? Okay, yeah, so, all right, yeah. Cardano, nice bullish engulfing green candle here. You might get some resistance at that 21 EMA sitting at 67 cents, which is only like 4 cents away. But we can't get too overly bullish on Cardano until it gets above 73 cents, which is where that 200 moving average is sitting at. And then we can say we're back in the bull run here, or back to business here with Cardano. Yeah. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can pull out from this chart. Cardano, just, I mean, 73 cents, I would probably put that as my short-term take profit target. But as we start climbing up to higher prices here, I would like to see Cardano get above this high that it made here on March 3rd, when it was at like 82 cents. Okay, once we get above that, then you know for sure you're definitely in the bull run here on Cardano. Okay, let me go ahead and quickly pull up the VRVP here. VRVP is saying that point of control is sitting at 72 cents, so that's probably going to be, like I said, 72, 73 cents is where Cardano is going to go next if we continue being bullish here. And then you got 94, 96 cents. Could be some resistance there. And then the value area high at $1.01 on the VRVP here. Okay. So Cardano could make you guys some money in the near future here. And like I said, we're still waiting for the money flow to start curving back up and get a nice green dot to show up on Cypher B here. Okay, you got some green, red dots here. Okay, usually green is a good time to buy. Red would be a good time to sell. We're waiting for a green dot to print. Okay. But if you're too anxious and you want to buy some Cardano right now, I mean, for sure you could buy it right now at 63 cents. And you put your stop loss pretty much at the bottom of this candle wick here at 53 cents. And you're only risking about like roughly 10 or 15% on your stop loss. Skynet, we actually talked about XRP earlier in the live stream. It's usually one of the first cryptocurrencies that I talk about right after I talk about Bitcoin. But yeah, I could show you and give you a good summary about XRP and price targets I have for XRP. XRP is at $2.06 for those of you who missed out on the live stream earlier. XRP's point of control is sitting at $2.40, so that's probably where we're gonna go next for the take profit. The short-term take profit target should be $2.40. That should be the next resistance level for XRP. And then you also got $2.50, which is that green 50-day moving average. But then after you get past $2.50, then you know, $3.13 is probably going to be the next resistance level, next take profit target for XRP, and then it's off to the races for XRP. I still have $5 as my long-term target for XRP later on this year, so you could double your money with XRP. And it's one of the strongest cryptocurrencies out there, mainly because it's been above its 200-day moving average. It flirted with it. It actually came down on the 200-day moving average on Monday, but then it got right back up again here. And yeah, XRP looking very strong. And I think you guys don't have to worry too much about XRP Ripple. And I think XRP is going to be having an ETF coming up soon or later on this year. So that should help propel it to higher prices as well. Now I got a question here. Let's see. Somebody said something about Friday. Let me go back into the comments here. Let's see. Kiana is saying you're just now getting into investing. Any advice whatsoever? My advice is don't get overly excited and bullish on this news that we just had today about the Trump tariff pause. Okay. Start doing some dollar cost averaging. Whenever you see a red day, that should be a day that you should be buying. You want to be buying the red candles, not the green candles here. Okay. But if you don't have any exposure yet, then yeah, throw your hat in the ring and pick your favorite asset to get into, whether it's stocks or crypto here. But I would not FOMO in just yet, but I would definitely get some exposure to something right now. Okay, if you don't have any exposure, if you're just strictly all cash, you got to buy something, at least after this good bit of news that we had today. All right. But yeah, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on YouTube and TikTok here. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I talked about XRP already, and then just said, do I think the market will drop again on Friday? What would be the reason why it would drop on Friday? We do have some economic data coming out on Thursday and Friday dealing with inflation that might cause the markets to drop, but that's the only thing I can think of why the markets would drop. I think there's a lot of pent-up demand, a lot of cash on the sidelines that's going to probably push us up to higher prices going into tomorrow and possibly even Friday. Somebody here said that's the easiest $2,000 you ever made. Congratulations on making some money today. A lot of people are happy right now. CEME for the win. I'm not sure what that is unless you're talking about the CME, I guess. All right. Let me just check my YouTube guys here. See. Yep. Okay. Appreciate you guys coming on to the live stream here. If you have any particular stock or crypto you want me to look at, go ahead and make those requests, and I'll take a look at whatever crypto you want me to look at. I do that for free. Some guys on these live streams, they actually charge you guys to do requests, but I'm not at that level yet where I can start charging people. Maybe when I get too many people asking me for requests, I'll have to like do the ones that actually pay for me to look at it. But we'll take a look at the stock market. I know Nasdaq actually had a pretty good day. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq Composite up 12% today. Jesus. That gives you a good idea that most stocks that are in the Nasdaq will most likely up more than 12%. If the overall index is up 12%, that's just like the average. Okay. But yeah, Nasdaq is at 17,124, and let's see. Look at this big, giant, green engulfing candle here. Yeah, you for sure, you're back up, and you can see, like, you know, if you guys don't believe these moving averages don't really do crap over here. I mean, look how far this green candle came up to. It came up right up to that white line, the 21 EMA. Okay, so there are people that pay attention to these moving averages, and look at this. This moving average is, this EMA is at 17,296, and we got up to like 17,202. We almost came up to that white line there, which might act as resistance temporarily from the Nasdaq. We'll see if we get another good green candle today. I mean, going into tomorrow. But look at this, all right? If you needed any more signals here as to like when's a good time to buy the Nasdaq, you got Cipher B right here. Market Cipher B. Look at that. You already got that green candle. Okay. That green candle printed today. I'm sorry, not the green candle. The green dot. That's your buy signal dot on Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B is saying that you should be buying the Nasdaq right now. Okay. Because look what these dots do here. Like they're usually pretty good. Like this last time we had a red dot. That was a good time to sell last Friday. Okay, it was saying that you should be selling. It had no idea that, you know, Donald Trump was gonna come in and do a pause on tariffs. But like once those pause on tariffs came in, then this green dot printed, saying now is a good time to buy. Okay. But I'll just give you some history here. You know, this thing was telling you to start selling the Nasdaq back here on February 21st. So if you actually listen to this indicator here, okay, which is kind of like almost like a little cheat sheet, it told you that you should have been selling the Nasdaq on February, about a couple of months ago, and you would have avoided all this pain. Okay, it did say that you should have bought here on March 14th. But then it said, never mind, go ahead and sell on March 28th. And then you would have avoided all that pain. And then it would have said, hey guys, buy the Nasdaq right now. So, Market Cipher B kind of helps figure out when's a good time to buy and sell if you're having a hard time answering that question for yourself. You should ask Market Cipher B before you ask me. I'm just some guy on YouTube and TikTok here. But I like looking at these charts to have you guys figure out, you know, hey, yeah, you can buy because Market Cipher B is saying now's a good time to buy. Now's a good time to buy the Nasdaq. Now we're waiting for these green dots to start printing on some of these cryptos here, and then you know for damn sure you're like, yeah, we're definitely getting a rally here on crypto. Alright, Zachary just said, do I think the pause on tariffs will make the market go even higher tomorrow? Well, you know, Zach, I'm looking at, you know, Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B says you should be buying right now. Okay? Market Cipher B thinks the market's going to go higher. But do I think the pause on tariffs will make the market go higher? I think so. The only thing that could take us down is tomorrow we do have CPI data coming out. Let's go ahead and look at the economic calendar here for a quick second. The only thing that could derail this this rally that we're just about to get is here on Thursday, tomorrow, you got the CPI data coming out. If this inflation, if these numbers here, well, so we're looking for CPI year over year. We're looking for like, we're expecting 2.6%. Okay, if we don't get 2.6% or we get like higher than 2.6%, then that could cause markets to go down, because that means inflation is going up, which means that the Federal Reserve is probably not going to lower interest rates anytime soon. So that could cause the market to go down tomorrow. But yeah, we're looking for CPI data coming in tomorrow. And then also on Friday we have PPI data, which is the Producer Price Index. The Producer Price Index right there. We're looking for PPI year over year. We want like a number below 3.2%. We want inflation to come down so that way they can lower interest rates. And that's the only thing I can think of that could actually derail this rally, to be honest with you, Zach. Let's see. Zach said you sold Tesla, Apple, and AMD and made $3,000 yesterday, then forgot to sell it, and it crashed today. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I would think those stocks would have went up today, though. You talk about, what did you sell exactly? Did you sell a stock, or did you sell like calls and put options? Were you selling options, or were you selling stock? Let's take a look at Tesla since you mentioned it. Let's see how Tesla did today. Tesla is up 22%, so I find it hard to believe that you did not make money on Tesla if you were in it. Tesla, yeah, up 50 points today. Nice green candle. Resistance for Tesla looks like it'd be coming in at the 200-day moving average at 289. So it might take a little break at 289. But then, yeah, if we're going to continue being bullish on Tesla, let me pull up that VRVP. You have the value area high at $339. So that could be like the next take profit target. Once you get past 289, I would expect 340 to be the next take profit zone for Tesla. Let's see, you mentioned Apple as well. Let's see how Apple's doing. AAPL. Apple actually went up today as well, up 15%. Okay. Now, I'm wondering how Apple is going to be able to deal with the tariffs because China still has tariffs placed on them. They're not getting a pause on tariffs. So Apple, even though it got, you know, a nice little relief rally going on here, there could be some more bad news for Apple if Trump keeps putting more tariffs on China. But the next resistance level for Apple is this white 21 EMA, which is currently sitting at $211. So I'm expecting some resistance, and maybe you could put your take profit at $211 in the near term. But we would like to see Apple get above the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at 228. 228, and then you can start to be bullish on Apple again. Appreciate the follows and the subscribes here, guys. Don't forget to hit the follow button or the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, so you can see more live streams like this in the future and keep up to date on the markets here. And then look at the charts with me here. Just going back to Apple, you can see that on Market Cipher B, we got that sell signal that came in around Thursday last week. And we don't really have a green dot yet saying that now is a good time to buy Apple. So that's a little bit concerning, but maybe the green dot might come in tomorrow. But I would just be a little bit worried that Apple might get punished by China, or Trump might punish China with more tariffs, which will affect Apple's stock because they'll have a hard time selling iPhones and bringing them over to America over here if they keep putting on more tariffs. All right. Yeah, let's see. We'll go back to Bitcoin here. Back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently at $83,000. Still having a nice green solid day here. We coming off a little bit off the highs. We saw Bitcoin earlier today at 83,583. And like I said, if you guys do not believe these moving averages don't mean crap, that they don't actually do stuff here, then you're doing yourself a disservice here, because look at this. Look, this 21 EMA, this white line, it's currently at 83,532, and that's exactly where we came up to here on the daily candle. That's the resistance level. Okay, so if you're not using the 21 EMA, guess what? Other professional traders around the world are using the 21 EMA, and that's the first line of resistance that they're looking at when they start saying, hey, where's a good price to be selling my Bitcoin at? Somebody decided to sell their Bitcoin at that 21 EMA. That's why we came down. We came up to it, but now we're a little bit below it. Okay. Zach, you're asking me what am I investing in? What are my positions, and am I doing options? Uh, I am invested in a lot of things, Zach. But one of my biggest bets is Solana and Sui and Bitcoin. I like those cryptocurrencies. As far as stocks go, I like Nvidia. That's one of my favorite stocks to be in. And I'm actually trying to short the VIX right now, the volatility index. Let me show you why I'm doing that. Okay, look, I'm looking at this this ETF called SVXY. SVXY. Okay, it's the ProShares Short VIX Short-Term Futures. Okay, if we're done, right? If we're done with tariffs and done with this drop in the market, then I'm expecting this thing to start going back up to higher prices here. All right, this thing was, you know, sitting at around 50 bucks back in January, right before Donald Trump got inaugurated. Okay, and it dropped down to like 33 bucks earlier today, 32 bucks yesterday, and this thing is currently sitting at 37 bucks, right? But I think this thing can come right back up just as fast as it dropped down, so you might make a quick buck buying it here below 40 bucks. And then if this thing comes right back to the, at least to the 21 EMA, that's the $44 stock right there. But I think that's just the first take profit if you're going to be short-term trading this. This thing can come right back up to 50 bucks. And if I measure that out, I think I measured it earlier today, but I'll measure it for you guys right here on the stream. You know, if you're buying this thing at like 37 bucks and this thing comes up to like 50 bucks, you got yourself a 33% gainer on this ETF. And this ETF, all you're doing is you're shorting volatility. You're basically saying things can't get as bad as they did the last few days. So if things start getting better, this thing should start going back up again. Okay. And if I zoom out, right, you know, you can see that this thing is up and to the right for the most part. This thing got as high as like 63 back in July of 2024 when there wasn't really that much volatility in the markets. Okay. You can see that we had a bad week here in August. This was when they had the Japan carry trade fiasco, where Japan raised interest rates while the Federal Reserve was lowering interest rates, and that caused some discrepancies in the markets, and we had a big drop in the market there, and that caused this thing to drop down to like 38 bucks. But then you can see like the next week, this thing came right back up to 50 bucks. So I think you can get a nice quick you can make yourself some quick money here on the SVXY ETF here for you stock market guys. Yeah, take a look at SVXY, Zachary, shorting volatility. Okay, you're basically saying that things can't get as bad as they are right now, and you're planning on, if you're expecting things to get better, then this thing is going to go up and make you some money. I'm using TradingView. This is this website is called tradingview.com, and I got a subscription which allows me to use all these indicators here. If you don't have a subscription with TradingView, then you're probably going to get like maybe 3 or 4 indicators here, and that's all they're gonna let you use. Now I can use like up to like anywhere between 10 to 20 indicators because I got a subscription with them. But yeah, TradingView is what I use to look at all these charts. And I know it can get like a little bit overwhelming here. If I just close things down, I can clean things up here. I can take off some of these indicators here. I can hide them, you know, and then it just looks like a regular, you know, candlestick chart. Right? But yeah, I like using these indicators when I'm day trading, so I usually got them up. And I want you guys to be able to see what I'm looking at. so you understand like where I'm coming with these price targets. But I know sometimes some of this can be a little bit overwhelming for people, and I can just I usually stick to having the RSI. I like the MACD. I like using the stochastic RSI. And my little cheat sheet is this Cipher B indicator here. The Cipher B indicator is pretty cool because that allows me to figure out what money flow is doing. And it gives me these little dots here, like that's a good time to buy. That green dot right there, the red dot, good time to sell. Another buy signal, and then a sell signal right here. And I'm expecting another green dot to be printed soon here on SVXY, saying that now's a good time to be buying this ETF right here. You got some questions here, Zach. You're saying you're using Robinhood to day trade, but they hate it and they keep banning your account. They don't want you day trading options. Well, it sounds like you need to find another broker, but also it might be the account that you're using. If you're using a retirement account, you're not really supposed to be day trading options on your retirement accounts. So it might even be just the type of account that you're in and not just the broker. If you have like a regular account with them, they shouldn't really care. Yeah, I can do that for you, Zachary. You want me to look at the green and red dots on Tesla and Apple and AMD? Let's do AMD because we haven't looked at AMD yet. But I'll just keep the analysis short and sweet here. You can see here on Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. This thing is trading at $96.84, up 23% today. Those are the green and red dots here, okay? You got red dot, green dot. This is on the weekly time frame here. And you can see that, yeah, we had a red dot here on October of 2024. And that was a good time to be selling and getting out of AMD because look at this. That red dot printed. And it's been bad week, bad week, bad week. Lots of red, 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 red down and to the right. And now you actually got a green dot printed here on March 17th here, saying that Market Cipher B thinks it's a good time to be buying AMD. But then, looks like a couple of weeks later, you got a red dot on March 31st. But I'm expecting probably a green dot to be printed if this thing continues up going to higher prices. So you could probably front run Market Cipher B and buy right now. This thing is not showing a green dot yet on the weekly time frame, but let's look at the daily time frame here. And yeah, daily time frame on AMD, you got these green and red dots here, green and red dots. The last red dot was last Friday. You're probably gonna get a green dot soon here, saying now's a good time to be buying AMD. But I don't know. This thing has been in a downtrend for a while here. That's AMD right there. Okay. Let's take a look at, you said Tesla. We'll look at the dots real quick on Tesla. And then you also said, what's the other one you said? Oh, Tesla and Apple. Okay, so yeah. Here we are. We're looking at Tesla, right? Tesla currently trading at 272. And the daily time frame here shows that you had some green dots that were showing up here on March. And then you had a red dot that came out last Friday. Friday was a bad day for a lot of these stocks here. But you're probably going to get a green dot printed here on Tesla soon. With the way the news is, all this good news for the stock market and world markets around the world. You're probably gonna get this green dot shown, but I wouldn't be surprised if the green dot doesn't show up because I know with Tesla does get some of their batteries from China, and China's still getting hit hard with tariffs right now. So it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for Tesla if they got to pay higher prices for batteries here. And then you want to look at Apple. Apple is also affected by China as well, but yeah, you got a green dot here that showed up on March 20th, and then the red dot, sell dot, came on last Thursday, April 3rd, and yeah, I'm expecting probably the next thing to be a green dot coming up here. Probably give it 1 or 2 more days, and that green dot will probably show up on Market Cypher B here. So that's my little cheat sheet there. Market Cypher B. You got the green dots and the red dots. Man, he's like, China, strike a deal. Yeah, China needs to get with the program here, or they're gonna seriously lose a lot of money. And you know, some people are like, oh well, you know, China's not gonna lose money because they're selling their products to Americans anyways. It's the Americans that are gonna be paying for higher prices. Not necessarily, because China can devalue their currency, so your $10 shirt from China can still be $10, but it's gonna cost more yuan to make it. Okay, so that's going to cause you know, the Chinese dollar, the Chinese yuan to go down in value. Zachary asking me about Nike. You love all these Chinese companies, all these Chinese plays here. They're not Chinese companies, but they make their products in China. I would say out of Nike, Meta, and Nvidia, I like Meta the most, as far as like not being exposed to tariffs. I do like Nvidia long term overall. I think it's going to be one of the best stocks to own in the next 5 to 10 years. I think people might have missed out on buying Nvidia at really low prices if they didn't do so yesterday or even earlier today. We're looking at the Nvidia stock now. Nvidia is currently at $114.33, up 18%. A lot of these stocks are up roughly double-digit gainers here. And if I turn on the moving averages for Nvidia, do you see that Nvidia is below all the moving averages except for the 21 EMA? And look at that 21 EMA acting as a slight resistance here. Okay. That 21 EMA is going to be like the first area that a lot of these professional investors and traders around the world are going to start taking profit at. So you got that going right here. 21 EMA is currently sitting at 112 bucks. And we want to see Nvidia just continue making higher lows and higher highs to higher prices here. We want to see Nvidia get back up to the 200 moving average at 126 bucks, that red line right there. And if I turn on the VRVP, let's see what the VRVP is saying. VRVP is saying that the value area low, that white line, is at 119 bucks. So that's probably like the near term price target for Nvidia is 119. And then yeah, 126 is probably going to be some resistance there, because that's the 200-day moving average, as this thing proves that it can go to higher prices. And if it does go to higher prices, the ultimate probably take profit target that this stock price is going to be magnetically attracted to is to get right back to the point of control there at that blue line at 139 bucks. You could see $139 Nvidia again probably later on this year. And just game planning this out, not saying that this is going to happen, but I can just see it with my own eyes here, that you could possibly get, and I'm just drawing this out hypothetically, okay? I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I see the beginnings of an inverse head and shoulder pattern, okay, with this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and then you might get something like this where Nvidia comes down, retests the level over here, then comes back up, and you got yourself the right shoulder, okay? And the way this head and shoulder pattern plays out is you just measure from the head up until the neckline where the shoulders are at, okay? That gives you the measured move, and then you take that measured move and you put it to like where Nvidia could break out at like 119 bucks, which is where the neckline is at. And that measure move says that you could see $156 Nvidia probably sometime in the future here. And let's see, has Nvidia been that high? 153 bucks. It was at 153 bucks back on January 7th. So yeah, you can see all-time highs again here on Nvidia if this inverse head and shoulder pattern plays out. Okay. So that's what I got for Nvidia price targets. You can see all-time highs again. Guys, I think that's going to be it for this live stream. I do have to do some other things here. I've been going live for about roughly an hour here. Bob is saying, what was that indicator? You talk about the VRVP? This is the VRVP, the Visual Range Volume Profile Indicator. This thing is pretty useful to get you levels here that you might have some reaction. Okay. This VRVP just measures how much people were buying and selling and what levels they were buying and selling at. And the blue line is usually where the point of control is, and that's the heaviest amount of volume. And looks like we have the heaviest amount of volume here at 120 bucks for Nvidia. So right now, a lot of people are currently underwater right now on Nvidia if they bought within like the last, in the past year right now. And I'm expecting people to they're probably not going to sell until Nvidia gets up to 120 bucks, and then they'll be back to break even again. But then also you got the value area high, which is this white line here, which is above the point of control, and then you got the value area low. And what the value area high and the value area low means is that 15% of this volume happened at the value area high, and the other 15% of the volume happened at the value area low, and about roughly 50% of the volume happened right here at the blue line, the point of control. Yeah, you should take a look at the VRVP and add that to your toolkit there, Bob, and do some more reading up on the VRVP. And you can add that indicator if you're using TradingView. It's called the VRVP, right? And the way I set mine up, because you're not going to get it, right off the bat, looking like what I have it at. But I just go over here to settings, and you're going to have, it's going to have it look like this. You're going to only have 24 rows. And when you got 24 rows, it's going to look like this. It's going to be like kind of like bigger blocks here, which it's still useful, but I like to come back over here to settings on the VRVP, and I go and I just add a 0. So that way the VRVP looks something like this, okay? Where now I can be a little bit more precise on my levels here. You can actually see the gaps better in between the high volume nodes here. And then also going back into the settings here in the VRVP, if you want to get the value area high and the value area low, you come over here to where it says VAH. You got your value area high, VAH. You got your value area low, VAL, and you got the point of control. The point of control is most likely going to be on, but if it's not, just make sure it is on, okay, by clicking that checkbox right there. And usually when you first open up this indicator, you're not going to have the VAH and the VAL, but you can click on those to get the value area low and the value area high, and then you'll get the indicator to look just like what I'm looking at. Okay? So yeah, I think that's enough. That's enough of my education and teaching for now here. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream, but right now you got Nvidia at 114 bucks, and you got that green dot saying you should be buying Nvidia right now. You got that green dot on Market Cipher B. And I'll just finish off on Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin currently at $82,950, and we're also waiting for a green dot to print on Bitcoin here. And I just see better days ahead for all of us investors here. So good luck trading and investing, guys, and whatever you decide to get into. And look for me on the live streams here. I go live around like 5 or 6 p.m. Okay, East Coast time. All right. Take care, guys.